Hi everyone, and welcome to the JfG Podcast.
Hi everyone.
What? What's your problem with that?
Hello and welcome. No,
I'm trying it on.
you love trying it on.
All right. Hello.
No, that's fine. No.
Hello everyone. Hi there.
Hi.
Hey guys.
Hey guys. Welcome.
It's episode 243. There you go.
You were there again,
and
I mean not again.
How
I haven't been here
you
before.
doing, Ash?
Yeah,
you
I'm
all right?
Yeah, I'm good, buddy. I'm lively and spirited, unlike other people that are dying and ill. I mean,
Yes, I'm in rude health at this point.
Oh, as in like, what kind of rude? Like you can have
rude
two types.
as in like cheeky and good.
Oh, that kind of rude. Nice.
Yeah,
I like it.
I'm fine.
You're flaunting it, aren't you? That's what it is.
I'd probably say dandy. I'm not flaunting it, buddy. Far be it for me to thrust my merriment in anyone's face.
I'd love to not see that, actually.
Metaphorical merriment. I'm not particularly happy, Ash. I'm thoroughly miserable, like the rest of the world seems to be. But what can you do? You just carry on. And
we are English or British or both, whatever the term is, to just, keep calm and carry on. I feel like it's English. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of that going about. There's a lot of people who are like, oh, we just carry on. They're your enemy, of course, at this point, because they're the ones that are making out like nothing's fucking wrong.
I know, right? There's so many things wrong right now.
Putting everyone at risk and condemning thousands to death.
They're obviously a bunch of cunts.
Keep on keeping on, buddies.
Or just go and hide in a corner until it all blows over.
Pub tonight? No.
No pub tonight.
So
you're not doing the pub quiz tomorrow, buddy?
No, I'm not, buddy.
What? Why not?
No,
just carry on. Everything's normal.
Mainly because it's on next week, although it probably won't be.
Probably not. I reckon it's probably not on next week.
Who can say? I've had 2 brushes with corona so far,
What?
as in direct contact with people who are positive.
Oh, cool. Right.
So it's just, in terms of running a gauntlet, I feel like I'm,
on the cusp.
Yeah, I mean, that the highway to the danger zone is probably where I roughly am.
It's probably just going through your head all day, every day right now.
It certainly is. Yeah, and every day.
How long until you fall ill, do you reckon? A couple of days? A week?
Well, it's supposed to be 5 days, isn't it?
So you're going to make game night this week?
I don't know. I mean, I feel fine.
Okay.
So
good news.
I have no symptoms.
I mean, you look a bit ill.
I'm just fucking haggard, mate, from years of abuse.
That's just my natural look.
Yeah, I'm just addled.
Yeah.
It's like 20 years of booze and
fucking hell.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing you have to say at this point, and
there is a good thing. Yeah.
Firstly, finally we have reached the great moment where esports becomes relevant to the masses, buddy.
Right, yeah, totally with you. Also, I found my new favourite sport, which I'll talk about in a bit.
Excellent news. I look forward to that. But
esports is fucking massive now, mate.
Just get on board.
We love it, I'm there now.
We were watching the race on YouTube at the weekend, buddy.
I watched that later on. I think I watched it Monday night. I was like, sweet, this is great.
Yeah, it's a bit of R Factor 2, real race car drivers flying around the Nürburgring GP track. I very much enjoyed that.
I was like, what a track. I missed this track so much. It's a fucking mint one.
Last night I watched Carmen live from New York, the Met Opera. They've closed the opera house.
Obviously.
But they're live streaming.
That's weird. I listened to Carmen on Sunday.
Oh, Oh, there you go.
That's odd that we both listened to that. Yeah. And I can't remember the last time I listened to opera.
Fucking take that, world.
Yeah,
we've been watching and listening to opera. This is a gaming podcast. Fucking stick that in your pipe and smoke it. You can't put us in a fucking box. You try and put us in a box. You can't.
No,
you can't.
Then I went on to Madam Butterfly after
pigeon
that.
has flown. It's gone.
It's fucking dead, mate. That pigeon is
So that's the
dead.
first thing.
Yeah, okay.
That's the first positive. The second positive, of course, is that this is really where we come into our own as fucking gamers, buddy.
Yeah, we do.
Because we've got a whole entertainment medium that people who don't play games don't have. I've got Game Pass. I've got hundreds of titles.
I renewed my Game Pass this week.
Fucking, yeah, well, and what a great time to do it when the service is unavailable briefly.
Yeah, I loved that. I sat down on, what was it, Sunday night, ready to go, right, here we go. This is my time to get into Ori, the new one, obviously.
I did the same.
No. That was a big, hard no.
No.
It wouldn't have it.
Nope.
It wouldn't have it. It was in the computer, buddy.
It was in the computer, but that wasn't great. But either way, as I'm saying, the fact that we've got video games to play, thank God for that. Because if you do end up stuck in your house for any length of time, you've got your consoles, you're good to go. And now's the time. We've all got a backlog. We've all got a backlog of video games that we picked up when we shouldn't have, played for an hour. Yeah. I'm looking at you, Divinity. I'm looking. It's time to get stuck in.
It might be time to. Oh, mate, should we just play loads of Divinity?
Division 2. I've still never never loaded the Division 2.
I'll play with that. I've got Control to play.
You got Control. You got Spider-Man now as well, buddy.
Technically, I have got Spider-Man. Spoilers.
You're welcome.
You know, I got The Witcher 3 if I fancy going again. I'll do that. I mean, I've got Pokemon at the moment I'm going through. There's just, there is endless amounts of games that we could be playing right now, especially on Game Pass as well, buddy, which is nice.
So there you go. That's the thing. Stay in, play some video games, buddies.
And also, watch my new favourite sport, Marbula 1.
He likes a bit of marble racing. I wondered if it might be. Yes, buddy. I mean,
I couldn't stop watching it. It was so pointless, but I was so into it. He's such a good commentator, the guy that does it. It's fucking awesome. He's so passionate.
Corals need something, buddy. The fucking bookies, they need something to bet on. There's got to be something.
Exactly. Marbula 1, mate.
Racing and esports. There you go.
It doesn't stop at racing. There's like Marble Olympics. Olympics or whatever, and I'm like, wow. The 5 metre sprint, fucking, let's see what happens.
5 metres. It's all there for you. It's all there. Yeah.
There's like off-road tracks as well. He's dug it all out of sand, and then off they go. It's mint. It's what's not to like? That's all I'm saying.
Exactly, buddy. So yeah, that would be in a roundabout way our advice to you in these dark times, buddies. Video games, other people playing video games, and marble sports. Yeah, that's what you want.
That's where it is.
Can't ask for more than that.
I mean, if that guy goes down with coronavirus and, I don't know what I'm going to do.
It's all over at that point.
I mean, what's left to live for?
Forget about it. Nothing. Just swan dive out the nearest window, buddy. That's
even if it's like a first floor window or ground floor.
You might have to go round a few times, but I reckon you can get there.
Yeah, hopefully a bit of glass will get lodged in my jugular or something.
It'll do the damage eventually.
Yeah, of course it will. Yeah,
absolutely.
We'll get there.
I'll very briefly ask what you're drinking this evening, buddy, before we head into talking about video games.
This evening, buddy, I'm on Sadler's Peaky Blinder Pale Ale.
Oh, lovely.
It's tasty.
Very nice.
Got it from B&M, one of the cheapest of shops in town.
Absolutely.
But, they do cheap beer, and that's a nice one. I like it. Tastes good. What about you, buddy? What are you drinking?
I've just finished up a can of a little bit of Ghost Ship, buddy. Very tasty little Ghost Ship. Very nice, very fruity. And now I'm moving on to one of my very favourites, the old Whitstable Bay Pale. It really is an ideal.
I wish I could
drink.
get the cans around here. I can't find them anywhere. It's
annoying. It's Sainsbury's, and they come in 4 packs in a box. So you can wipe all the Corona off the outside, buddy, and then open it up, and you've got the cans. So you're away.
It. Yeah, nice. I
Absolutely.
What did I have? Buckhorn, is it from Aldi?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was fucking lovely. I hadn't had that one before, and I had a couple of cans of that on Friday. Oh, I bought 4 more today. The ale aisle is really kind of untouched by the panic buying. I'm not sure what's wrong with. I'm happy with
what's going on there.
Actually, I got the last 3 little cases of me Rheinbacher in Aldi today.
Shit.
I was walking down there. I was like, I couldn't see. Normally, there's a massive stack of them because no one drinks that piss apart from me. And I was like, shit, where's it gone? And I had to rummage through the boxes at the bottom. I was like, yes. People obviously looked at me going like, Jesus Christ, that guy's got a problem. I was like, I'm happy. But yeah. Can't go wrong. £3 for 4, buddy. It's a bargain.
That is alarmingly cheap.
Yeah, it is.
Alarmingly.
It still tastes good if you like that taste.
If you like that taste, then
it tastes
I often
good.
find if you like a taste, then you're going to enjoy that taste.
That's true. And I enjoy that taste. It's good.
Okay, well, video games then, I suppose, buddy.
Okay.
I've been playing some games. Have you been playing some games?
I've been playing one game.
Okay.
And this game came out last Wednesday as we podcasted.
It's a new game.
It's not really. It's a new take on a game that's been out since I don't know when, last year.
October or September or something.
October. The Goldilocks zone. Golden release time.
Release time, of course.
And that is Call of Duty Modern Warfare. A Warzone. This is the Warzone. This is the new battle royale, set in the area of I can't remember where, beginning with V. Vladistok, Dunkirk. I'm going for.
Right.
In Modern Warfare, it's running in that engine, and it looks pretty decent to say. It's a huge fucking map, buddy. This thing is massive. The Battle Royale consists of 150 players now. So, just saying, could have been 151. One more, but...
Absolutely dropped a bollock there.
They went for the 150, I know. And when it launched, it was teams of 3. Go in, do your business, go for the win. Standard Battle Royale rules with a slight twist, buddy. One nice thing, you start off with a pistola, which is a good thing, instead of just running around with nothing in your hands trying to punch people. At least you can shoot dudes when you land. Oh, it's definitely come in handy a few times, I must say. It saved me bacon, and also I have perished from said sidearm. You also spawn with 2 sets of armor out of 3, which is handy. And yeah, it's pretty good, I must say. I mean, I've played a fair amount of these Battle Royale games, and consensus is I'm not a massive fan of them. As you know.
No, you played a fair bit of Black Cow, didn't you?
I played a fair bit of Black Cow. Never really enjoyed it that much, though. Yeah, it didn't find it to be accessible. I always thought that I was either underpowered or just generally shit. Like, it was a case of if you don't get the, upper hand straight away on someone, you're totally fucked. This is different with Warzone. I actually feel like I have a chance the majority of the time. Obviously, if I'm out in the open and I get sniped, I don't really have much of a chance because I'm on the floor dying. But with this, like with the gunplay, and the I want to come with a nice word like the juiciness of Call of Duty's weapons, Modern Warfare's weapons anyway. It feels like I've got more of a chance of taking out, a group of 2 or 3, whilst even on my own, if I can try and get the jump on them, or just be in a better position, really.
Yeah, that is quite different from previous sort of warish ones, isn't it? Because normally, if you're outnumbered, you're basically fucked.
You're totally dead. But what is nice, the perk system kind of carries over from the multiplayer. So certain things you can use. Actually, let me step back away from the perk system. Let's go for this. So obviously the basic mechanics are there. Run around, pick up guns, shoot dudes, and happy days. This is elaborated in a way that obviously you've got the different tiers of weapons. Your greens, blues, purples, oranges, standard stuff. So the difference with this is obviously the further up, the better the weapons, the better the attachments, really. Which I feel is really quite a good thing. So the gun doesn't really change, but you might have a better sight or an extended mag or a silencer or something like that. It's still random. You haven't got the annoyance. I mean, it's not annoyance. It's probably like the most people that love battle royales love putting attachments and shit on their guns. Half the time, I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing. So this is just thrown at my lap, and I'm like, fucking sweet. I've got an assault rifle. I'm happy. I can change it from single burst to rapid fire. That's me. I'm done. I don't need any more jazz on like, is this the scope you want? No, or is this the one when you're running around like trying to work it all out? It's a bit too much. With this, it's nice and simple, straightforward. You get what you get. Then, as the gas cloud continues to, the radius shortens, is that the word? I don't know. The diameter,
I guess so.
Gets smaller. Yeah. After a couple times, you get a loadout drop. So from the sky, a big box lands on the floor. You can run over to that, and you can pick up one of your preset, standard Call of Duty loadouts. So this is where the perk system kind of comes in. So from there, you can get your double time, so you can run for longer. You can have tracker, so you can see enemy footsteps and stuff like that. All of them are there. Anyway, so that's really nice. So one of the ones that I use, I think it's called Amped, where you can have 2 main weapons. And with that, obviously, I'm like, I need my assault rifle, and then I want like a marksman rifle or a sniper rifle. So then I've got my long range, short range combo. And it's really nice getting to that stage and being like, even because you might have picked up absolute bollocks up to them, but at least when you get there, you know that you're going to have your guns and you can play it your way, how you want to do it, which is really cool.
Yeah, that is nice.
Obviously, the game just continues in that way until you fight to the death at the end. Throughout the game, there's little contracts you can do. So there's like scavenger missions. You can run around and find specific chests. And from that, you get money. There's also money lying around on the floor or in certain chests you can pick up. Or there's like bounty ones where you have to go and kill a certain person. Or I think there's like control point ones where you just have to go to an area and control the point, but obviously everyone can see that you're going for that point and they can come and totally fuck you up. So it's encouraging engagement with other people pretty much all the time, but you totally don't have to do that if you don't want to. I kind of like doing that because it's a bit more fun than just your standard battle royale walking around for half an hour and being like, this is wank.
And then dying and starting again.
Totally.
It's nice
a bit more engaged. Yeah, exactly.
Add a little bit more depth to the gameplay rather than the sort of standard fare. And that's kind of required at this point because it's been a fair old few years now of these Battle Royale games, if you think about it. It's not really a fresh idea anymore, so you need to kind of try and add things in some way at least to keep people entertained.
True. So obviously, getting the cash monies. With the cash money, you can buy perks. So with the perks, you can get your UAVs, your airstrikes, your whatever. You can get a instant revive, so you can revive yourself when you go down, or you can buy, if it's early on in the game, or you wanted to change your loadout, you can buy a loadout, and the loadout thing will drop, and you go around and pick whatever one you want again. Also, with the money, you can revive your teammates for like $4,500, which is, a certain sum of money, but you can get that quite easily. So that's one nice way of getting your teammates back, and you can do that multiple times through the game. So once again, trying to keep people engaged for longer. Like, one of the big things, obviously, if you're playing in a team, like a team of randoms, let's say, and, you die, 3 of you die and there's one guy left, there's no reason to stick around because that guy's just going to get totally fucked up. But with this, like, it is quite easy to get your teammates back in if you can, survive and get money. And so it kind of rejuvenates that that game, really. It means there's still something to fight for. The other thing that is a nice little twist, when you do die and you don't, the first time you die, and it's in an allotted time, I think it's like 15 minutes, in the first 15 minutes, you go to a place called the Gulag. I think it's Gulag. Now, this is an area, if you remember the film The Rock.
Yeah.
And when they come up from the sewers in, what's the Alcatraz?
Alcatraz.
Yeah. And they're in that like toilet area, and all the dudes are up on the balcony above them, shooting down and totally fucking them up. It's that. You're there, and it's a 1v1, random weapon. If you kill the dude, you get sent back in. If you die, you're dead. Now,
okay.
It's first couple of times I played this, I was like, oh, this is bollocks, because obviously I died because I was shit. But I've had it a couple of times where I've deuced him, like I've snuck round, I've managed to shoot him or whatever, and you get respawned, and that feeling of like, yeah, I just fucking 1v1'd you, bro, proper douchebag kind of stuff. But
yeah, jock shit.
Yeah, it does make you feel good. You're like, yeah, I fucking did it, and then you're back in the game. Yeah, it's cool. Obviously, that's like a one-time thing. So it's a nice.
It's trying to do some stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just a standard thing. Since then, they've added one called Payday, where I think it's about collecting money, and the first one to $1 million or something wins. I haven't played that yet. And also they've added solo mode, so you can play that solo, but I would never do that because I'm a pussy and I would die. But yeah, I mean, I've gone on longer than I thought, actually. I didn't know I had that much to say about this game. I must have played it for about 6 hours, like in-game hours, actually, like in the Battle Royale. And yeah, like I'm getting, I think my average is like 2 kills a game. Like, I'm really enjoying it. It feels, we've already spoken about how it's, this year's Call of Duty is a really good shooter.
Certainly controls nice and feels nice to run about, doesn't it? On it,
yeah, totally. And that kind of just continues in this. Also, one of the best bits is like the loading area. So you all just load into this big fucking thing, and it's just a big fucking free for all. You just kill everyone, and it like. And the stupid thing is, like, you earn XP while you're in there with the amount of kills you're getting. So it's a really good way of like unlocking new stuff for your guns, like new sights, and getting XP for your guns and things like that. It's really good. And the fact that, that one game mode is free, like that's pretty cool. That's nice of them to do that. And obviously, like, that'll probably pull people into actually buying the game because, well, it just makes sense. But if not, obviously, there's all the bollocks with the battle pass and all kinds of monetization in there. I'm not going to leave that out.
They can make plenty off the free version, can't they? So.
But yeah, like we're not going to talk about that because like that's not what we're in it for. Really, we very rarely buy shit. The only thing that I've really bought is the Destiny 2 things, but I'm done with that now anyway. So no more battle passes for me, buddy. I'm done.
I'm done with that shit, Dewey Cox. It's all over. Forget about it.
Gibbons. So that's all I've been playing this week. I did dip my toe back into Pokemon Sword for my classic 1 hour again, which was nice. Catching some more Pokemons, fighting some battles, doing my shit. I can now mega evolve my Pokemon and make it massive. Big whoop, want to fight about it kind of thing. Yeah. But that's nice. Pokemon, buddy. So yeah, that's me this week. But I mean, you've got more games than I've been playing this week. So what have they been? I mean, there was a spoiler earlier because you've actually won the game of buying games this week, buddy.
I have won the game of buying games. I've been thinking about picking this up for some time. Obviously, I finished Jedi Fallen Order at this point, so needed my next exciting third-person action adventure.
He loves that shit.
And I've wanted to pick up Spider-Man for some time, for lots of reasons. One, it's supposed to be very good. It's made by a really good studio in Insomniac. They're responsible for lots of cool shit and wonderful graphics, aka Ratchet and Clank remake, for example, which I've also been enjoying this week.
Nice.
It's on the store at the moment for PS Plus members. It's £22, including all of the DLC they did for it. So the DLC is all extra story episodes with a different villain for each one, which is quite nice. It works quite well episodically, I suppose, as a tack onto the game. And quite something I quite like about this game is you can enable and disable the individual DLC packs at any point just from an options menu, so you can sort of add them in or take them out of the map as you wish.
That's kind of cool. Instead of it just fucking being there and you having to ignore it.
Yeah, exactly. You haven't got to worry about it at all. You can go all the way through to the end game of the main story and then switch them on, and you're still in the same game world. You can do the collectibles if you want to do that sort of thing alongside any extra missions that you've got with the DLC pack. So yeah, I thought £22 pretty reasonable, and time to pick it up. So yeah, I've played. Well, the story says that I'm 32% of the way through at this point, which I would say probably puts it in the sort of 15-hour category for that main story.
Wow.
And then you've got sort of side quests and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot.
The DLC packs as well. So it's a decent chunk of game. There's probably 20-25 hours there. Yeah. So anyway, in terms of the actual play of this thing, well, firstly, it looks really, really nice. Like, it looks lovely, and you would expect that from this studio. And also, it's one of those games that it just, when it's in full flow, it looks really lovely. And also the way that they've accented it with music and sound effects is just on the money. Like, the act of like swinging through the city is just really intuitive. It's piss easy, but also there is a certain like nuanced sort of ballet sort of thing going on there, where you can just fly through the city and you'll clip a building or two or jump off the top of one, or if you're really up for it, then you can really control your swings. You can jump at the end of them, you can boost in the air, and then you can swing again, and you can really make it a sort of art form, just gracefully gliding between skyscrapers, and
it just feels nice.
It feels lovely to do that. I think the best way to describe what this is, it reminds me a lot of Infamous Second Son, which I thought was a very, very good game, in terms of the way that it feels to travel around the world and kind of enjoy yourself. But really, what it properly reminds me of, this game, is Crackdown. Crackdown at its best, with collectibles on rooftops and just a certain elegance to like exploring the city as you got sort of more and more powerful. Yeah, mixed with a slightly easier, kind of satisfying, more arcadey version of the sort of rocksteady like Arkham combat. So that's kind of what you're looking at for that sort of thing. There's a lot of very cool moves you can unlock, but they're all simple button presses. It's not like learning Street Fighter combos or something. You get a variety of suits. Each one has a different power. Then you got a variety of gadgets, from upgrading your standard web to I've got like a big fat sort of web gun thing. So
I thought you were going to go for big fat sumo suit then. I don't know why.
I've got this like web gadget where if you hit someone with it and they're close enough to like a wall or something, then it'll just stick them to it and they're out of action. That's it. You've done them in.
Fucking nice.
And yeah, it's quite like damage is high. So there's 4 difficulty levels, and it recommends the 3rd, which I went for.
Okay.
I find it's got a good amount of challenge there. You've got to be quick on your feet. You get a like a spidey sense tingling bar above your head when someone's about to hit you from any angle, so you can hit circle to dodge. Yeah. But yeah, lots of really cool stuff. Some of the enemies with armor or shields, you got to sort of give them a bit of a hammering and then slide through their legs and attack from like the back, or tossing gadgets back at them. There's some really nice stuff here, genuinely.
What's the camera movement like? A lock-on system?
Absolutely bang on. Just no problems whatsoever.
Nice.
You have to be quite speedy yourself when you sort of want to kind of manually edit that. But it's more than capable of keeping up with you if you are. So it's I've had no issues there at all. It's a really fun game to play. It seems like a really vibrant environment, and there's a huge amount of content, sort of Assassin's Creed levels of things to find and do. Some of them compelling, some not so. But it's all kind of there for you. And then I suppose the other thing to talk about is the story itself, because this is a action adventure story game. The story is kind of inherently involved. And it's always a little bit weird with these games. They're like Marvel licensed, but they're not the characters from the current movies. Yep. So it's kind of a general jack of all trades Spider-Man
especially, it's all over the fucking place.
Yeah, well,
like, with the films, like they're just. Well, anyway, that's totally different. It's to do with Marvel.
It's it sort of works.
Sony. Is it Sony?
I think it's It's kind of it feels like a sort of the current movie Spider-Man in like 10 years time. So the guy's he's a little bit older. He's not like a little squirt. He's very sort of clean cut still, in terms of like the story. The uncle dude has died, which happens in like all Spider-Man films. Uncle
Buck. Yeah.
And then you've got Aunt May, who you've moved out of her place. You've got your own place. Wow. MJ you've been with, but it didn't work out. So she's like working for the newspaper that Peter Parker worked for in the film.
Gazette?
Daily Bugle.
There you go.
He's working for Dr. Octopus, who's currently Dr. Octavius and not yet evil. So I'm not a massive fan, but I've seen all the Spider-Man films, so I can kind of place it all and it works fine.
You know what's going on.
Yeah, it's a combo of all those sort of different bits and pieces.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with the like comic book lore, and I'm more than proud of that. So that's that's the way it is. But either way, it's a decent story. The acting is solid. Spider-Man, Peter Parker, is mildly annoying because he's so like, oh, I'm so nice. But at the same time, that has always kind of been Spider-Man. So I suppose that's fair enough. Yeah. Classic sort of caper. I think you've got like a dude who seems to be the goodie and is probably the baddie. Classic Spider-Man stuff.
What?
And you're working for a guy who's going to be evil, but I don't know if it'll happen in the game or not.
No, that's the DLC.
It's pretty cool. You work with some local cops. I did a mission with the dad from Enter the Spideyverse, the cop. Yeah, I know. So that he's kind of in there as well, as is his son. And this game also gives you control of multiple characters, which I wasn't expecting. So there's a stealth scene in a museum where you actually play as MJ. There's another section where you're creeping through, avoiding enemies, playing as that cop's son, the Spider-Man from Enter the Spider-Verse. Yeah. So yeah, it's got a lot going for it, man. It's really, really cool. The only thing, it's just not.
Go on.
It's just not amazing. Like, it's great. It's really great, and I really like it. But it's just not. It's just not wow. You know, like
I love it. It's
I
just,
don't know.
you know, it's just not the best.
It isn't. That's the thing. Like it's a cracking game. A lot of people probably would love it. I would imagine. For me, it's a really high 8 out of 10 sort of game. But it's just not like. I'm not desperate to play it all the time. Like I'm not. And some games they get their hooks
when
in,
they
you know?
get in you and you
enthralled.
can't do anything else but play that game.
And I
it's
haven't
like
had
what you
that.
think about. Yeah.
I haven't had that. This is fun.
It's a nice
and I like
go-to
it, and I will go
when you're
through
like,
it, and I'll play it, and I'll complete it. But it's not like I must play this. And for whatever reason, despite the fact that Jedi Fallen Order, as the last sort of lengthy game I played, is significantly worse than Spider-Man in every way, in terms of from like a story, from a technical. Jedi Fallen Order is an infinitely worse game than Spider-Man. But Fallen Order, man, I couldn't put that shit down.
You love Star Wars.
Spider-Man, I really can.
It's because you like Star Wars more than Spider-Man.
I'm in Star Wars mode at the moment. Yeah, I've never been like a mega Spider-Man fan, but this is a lovely little game. It's wonderful. It's kiddie friendly to a degree as well. It is.
It's like a AAA title.
I know, but I'm just.
I know what you're saying.
I can't fault it. I don't know what's wrong, but I can't explain what the problem is. I just it's not like grabbed me by the balls like a awesome game should.
I've really enjoyed Spider-Man games like on previous gens and stuff like that. I think I can't even remember which one I had on the 360, but I remember playing that one for fucking ages. I think it was made by Activision. No, that was even earlier than that. I can't remember. But just that whole swinging through the city and the freedom of it. It was just, you know, you don't really get that in any other game, unlike you say, like Crackdown and stuff like that. But still, that the movement and you know,
and the audio, I have to say, man, absolutely brilliant. Like when it's completely cued on your movement. So as soon as you jump off a roof and start swinging, then the sweeping score comes in of a full like string orchestra comes in. You
Not the Spider-Man theme tune. No. That's Batman, no.
It's more reminiscent of the sort of Avengers-esque sort of. It's got that going on all the time when you're swinging through the air. It fades out as you slow down or like stop swinging, which is really cool.
That's cool.
Like there's all sorts of wind noise and effects and stuff. It really feels like you're flying along really quick. And you really have to think about your movement as well, because although the game clearly is not connecting to buildings nearby, it's just connecting to points off camera.
Of course it is.
Because it would be far too hard with current hardware to perfectly, you know. But at the same time, if you, as I did the other day, fly out of Manhattan straight over the top of Central Park and try and web to a building, you will fail because you are over Central Park and you will fall on this occasion into a pond. So that can happen if you're not careful. But yeah, it's great fun. I highly recommend it. But as I said, it's just not got that cheeky fucking sparkle. It's not a Star Wars thing per se. It's something, and it's fine that this game isn't as good as like Horizon or God of War or The Last of Us. But it isn't. It's not in that caliber.
If it wasn't Spider-Man, if it was just like you didn't know about Spider-Man, he never existed, right? And it's just a game about this dude who can swing from magic webs. Would that make a difference?
It would have more impact because it'd be like, holy shit.
What the fuck is this? Who's this guy? Webman.
I don't know. It may well be being slightly tainted by the fact that it's Spider-Man and I've never really cared about Spider-Man. And also by the fact that we've had like 3 different Spider-Mans in the last 20 years and this is a 4th. So it's like, well, yeah, it's an amalgamation of lots and lots of things. But
yeah, I know what you're saying.
I don't know what else they could do. And that suggests that it's probably a very good game, and maybe I'm the problem. So,
you seem to be giving it very high praises, buddy. So
it's great.
Definitely
it's absolutely brilliant. It's really fun, and I'm really enjoying it. And no doubt we'll press on through it, especially if I'm
stuck inside,
housebound by mandate in the coming weeks, which
exactly
looks likely to happen. So we'll see. But
nice.
Spider-Man is great, and I sent it to your console, so you can give it a go as well.
I will play that.
Given. Next one I've been playing, buddy. Pikuniku, or Pikuniku, something like that. This popped up on Game Pass this week, and I thought I'd give it a burn, mainly because it was 480 meg install.
There you go.
And also because, why not? I tend to try most stuff on Game Pass, although not when the fucking service goes down and it doesn't know whether I've got a license to play the game or not, Microsoft.
That's true. That's sad.
Yeah, that's... At least put a 7-day timer on that shit. Why do you have to check in the server every time I load the thing? I don't understand.
I don't know. That's what I thought. I mean, I know that I can set my PC to be able to play stuff offline, but I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, but also it's
still
PlayStation's got a license on there.
Yeah,
it's with a date on it.
Yeah.
Exactly. So just time code the length of my current Game Pass subscription.
Yeah,
I've got it for a month. It hasn't run out, so
happy days.
I don't understand
that game.
I don't get it. It's really annoying.
Yes, I installed this game as well, buddy, because it's also on Game Pass for PC.
And one of our listeners has also been tucking into this.
And
seems
that's
like as good a
I
time as any
installed
to mention what he said about it. Old Cosmic
Gibbons.
Dad in the Discord this week, buddies.
Cozdad.
Cozdad.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Obviously,
takes out the mic.
JfG Podcast at .co.uk, buddies, if you want to pop over and join our Discord channel and some discussions.
Yeah, do it.
But yeah, Cosmic Dad says this about Pikuniku. A perfect example of a game I wouldn't have looked twice at, but because it's on Game Pass, I installed it for a look. Turns out it's a short, charming cartoon romp through a delightful world of funny characters, clever puzzles, lots of secrets, and cracking entertainment. Highly recommended. A really enjoyable 3 or 4 hours.
Now, by romp, does he mean you know what I'm saying? Between the sheets.
Very sexual, very toit. You're a pair of very slender legs in this game, buddy. It's
well, maybe that's what you like.
You're like some sort of blob with legs.
No, I'm not a fan.
This is a very funny game. I've been really enjoying this. It's
nice.
It's just a sort of 2D platformer, but it controls very nicely, and it's kind of all sort of primary coloured. I don't know who wrote the all the dialogue for it. It's all just text bubbles, but it's really funny, really funny. It's just and everything sort of talks as well. You're wandering through a field. There's a load of birds pecking away next to a scarecrow, and you can just hit Y to talk to them, and they're just like, "Hi,
all right,
all right," and how you doing? Yeah, fine. It's really strange. Basically, I don't want to spoil too much because this is such a short game, but you're a monster and you wake up and you come out of a cave and the villagers think you're a monster, and then they realise you're not very scary, so they let you free and then you can do stuff for them and fuck about. That's basically the game.
That sounds nice.
You can talk to everyone. The dialogue's really quite funny. And yeah, it is charming. And lots of, really quite clever puzzles, lots of little secret ariums, and not much more to say about it. It's pretty short, but as Cosmic Dad says, it's a perfect example of A, why you should have Game Pass if you've got the capacity to, and B, why you should probably just install and try almost everything on there every time. I head to that recently added, it's the first thing I do every time I turn the console on.
Yeah,
just to see.
When you load up the Xbox beta app, is the first thing that there's these are the latest things you can play right meow. I'm fucking sweet.
Absolutely. It's
talking about Game Pass, actually. I know I mentioned last week about my son's PC and having the ability to him use my Game Pass as well. We were playing some Sea of Thieves as a family, which was nice. There's me and my daughter in my room, and he was doing the pirating in his room. It was really fun. They got well excited. Did I talk about this last week?
I don't think so. No.
I don't think I did. But yeah, it was mint. Oh no, I put it in the Discord. That's why I thought I've already said it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but yeah, they fucking loved being a pirate. Like, because that game's so nice and chilled. Like, you haven't got to do anything. It's just like, oh sweet, we're on the boat and we're sailing around, and then we've got a treasure map. Like, fucking how exciting is that? You got a treasure map. Then you have to go and work it out, dig it up. Fucking found the treasure. Whoa! They were getting well into it. It makes me think, shit, if I had, an Xbox One, we could, like, 3-man that.
Well, yeah. I mean, the shit heaps are especially reasonable in price.
Well, I'm thinking, because I got the 2 PlayStations, maybe I'll sell one of them, use the money from that, get a shit heap.
You'd probably raise enough from selling that PlayStation, I'd imagine.
I reckon so. Anyway, sorry to derail you, buddy. Yeah.
I was done with that game anyway. It's really fun. Yeah. Highly recommended to just give it a burn. And
nice.
Enjoyable. Elsewhere on Game Pass and on Xbox, 2 Point Hospital, which I have been kind of tucking into a little bit here, a little bit there.
How far are you into it now?
I'm still in sort of doing the first hospital, but I've got sort of like 15, 20 rooms now, like 10 doctors and, a proper little like little medical village going on.
Yeah, nice.
I really like it. I'd like it to be a little bit more customizable in terms of like renaming shit and that sort of thing. I think they've played a blinder with the controls here. It feels just really easy to do everything that you want.
What is it you want to rename?
I want to rename everything. I want to rename all of the characters, and
you can totally do that. I don't know on Xbox, but you can rename all the NPCs. Loads of stuff.
Maybe you can. Then I hadn't found a way of doing it so far, but as I say, I'm fairly early on in it. But some of the names are quite funny anyway. But
Dr. Arseface, he was my champion GP for quite a while.
Nice. No, maybe I just haven't found it yet then.
There was Nurse Love's
In which
Bum.
case, I take it back, and it isn't that easy to find everything that you need control-wise, because I haven't been able to do that.
I can't remember where you have to go in somewhere. Is it like you have to like click on them and then you can edit it from there? Maybe I can't remember.
Yeah, maybe that would be the sort of classic roller coaster tycoon-esque sort of way of doing it.
But yeah, you totally can.
Either way, it's really good. I like it, but it is just Theme Hospital.
It is at the end of the day.
Identically Theme Hospital, and that takes the edge off it for me a little bit, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I know. I kind of wanted something different in there. Maybe there is like later on in the game.
Yeah, it's worth persevering with, isn't it?
I mean, the major difference is the amount of customization, I guess, you can put into your hospital with like all the
size of it is massive as well.
The size is massive, but all the little features, like you can have like loads of different pictures or different trees or different coloured benches instead of just having the same bench a million times. I think that's the major difference, really, like just looking at it from
I'll keep playing it for a while because I want to know if it's got a kill the rats mini game or not. So,
have you had any patients die on you yet?
I haven't, but I heard it's quite funny animation-wise.
It is. It's interesting, and you might need to get a specific janitor when that happens. Just saying.
Okay.
It made me laugh a bit.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good.
So yeah, I'm tucking into that. Mrs. is enjoying that as well, so that's a kind of slow burner, that one. And the only other thing I've been playing this week is Star Wars Jedi Academy. Buddy,
he loves that shit.
My cheeky purchase on the old Xbox, the old backwards compatible Xbox One game.
Backpack.
I've been playing a fair bit of this. I don't know how long this game is, but I've completed like 10 missions or something now.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I'm just battling with the like scenery and
was it the sliding doors? Like
there's some weird shit, man. I spent quite a long time on a electromagnetic train jumping between carriages.
I know the one.
Occasionally just falling to my doom for seemingly no reason, and every time I meet an enemy, I just slice them in half. Like, just boom. Just knife through butter. I don't even know what they're doing there, the enemies. I haven't come close to dying in any other way than A, being run over by a speeder, or B, just falling to my death off the world.
It's more of a platformer than that game than, a hack and slash or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it's not. It hasn't aged as well as I kind of thought it had, if I'm honest. I still think that the multiplayer, that's where it always
stands
shone.
out, man. Yeah,
but the single player, I've just done this fucking mission where you're on like a sort of like a hover motorbike going through the desert between these villages, and it was thoroughly miserable. It was a thoroughly miserable experience of it sort of chucking enemies at me. Sometimes they would come near me and I would just die. Yeah, just like that.
Just gonna die,
seemingly for no reason. Other times I've sliced through them and the camera's very proud of itself. It goes into slow motion and does like a sort of 180 pan of them falling off their bike,
nice.
Which takes control away from you and sends you flying off of a fucking ledge, obviously, or something like that.
But go on.
It's plagued with technical issues, this game, but I really like it.
I was going to say, but have you fallen through the floor as many times as Jedi?
I still haven't once fallen through the world.
Must be a better game then.
It's probably a better game.
Probably a better game. 8 out of 10.
Certainly the combat's more fun. Than less depth, of course.
Yeah, less depth, but AKA more fun. Got
I like it. I paid like £8 for it, and I've been fucking loving every minute. So,
yeah, mate. There's nothing wrong with that, buddy.
Apart from that speeder battle, fuck that shit.
Fuck yeah, it's done now though, I'm guessing.
So, other than that, buddy, just been playing GT Sport on game night, and that's
that was
about it.
Fun. I enjoyed that.
It's a great game.
I need some more cars, but I'll get there with them. But yeah, it was cool. Enjoyed that.
You just need to spend like 1 hour playing that game before game night.
I will not do this.
You could in that time
I will complain constantly.
Yeah, just moan about the fact you ain't got any.
Yeah,
completely unwilling to put any time into it. Probably best.
It's my prerogative.
If you do the single player challenges, it gives you a car per challenge. They take maybe 3 minutes each.
I could do that on a controller. I haven't got to get the wheel out for that.
No, not at all.
I'll try and do that.
You can end up with like 15 cars in an hour. Like,
I might do that after the pod, actually. We'll just load it up and just plough through it.
Yeah, it's easily done. It's good fun.
It's not a bad shout. Cool.
So yeah, video games, buddy.
We did it.
The only other thing to mention, and I guess we'll mention it briefly because we haven't had sort of full reveals or anything here.
What?
Is the new consoles, of course, both allegedly launching this winter, although semi-dependent on production in
probably won't be able to afford it after not working for 3 months, but
no, exactly. Coupled with the fact that they're all made in areas that are heavily affected, aka quarantined, and I don't know quite how they could possibly be mass producing a console at the moment, which they would need to be kind of on the road to doing so in preparation for like a November launch. Either way, the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 are finally on the horizon, 7-8 years after the previous consoles came out.
Fucking brilliant.
They're looking a bit sad for themselves at this point, those two consoles.
They're a bag of shite.
Yeah. And so, we've known the Series X specs for a little while. Microsoft came out and confirmed them. Very much so. And I think that's the case with both of these, to be fair. But, so today we had something that has made everyone very angry because it was really boring.
I love boring. Huge fan of the boredom.
What actually happened was it was supposed to be GDC this week. It's a technology games show. It's mainly sort of tech stuff. And at that show, Mark Cerny or Kearney, I don't know.
Cerny Kearney.
It's old Cerny Kearney. He was going to come out and he was going to basically do a keynote speech about the way that they designed the PS5, how they made the decisions they made, what the hardware is, and what it means for the future. So that's obviously a very dry and technical talk. It's not something that gamers are going to be especially excited about in general, I would say. But GDC was cancelled.
Can I just say that Mike Cerny Kearney is probably one of the most boring people alive as well, which doesn't help.
I find him very frightening. He's like some sort of terrifying sort of passive-aggressive android. He's got a Steve Jobs thing going on, kind of less like you feel like you could probably just kick Cerny Kearney over, whereas Steve Jobs probably would have just strangled you to death. But yeah,
I think he would kill you with mind power.
He's clearly super smart, and
he's incredibly
fair play
smart
to him. He designed the PS4. He did an excellent job there. And if you could have bared to wade through this keynote speech today, then it was very, very interesting in terms of what it means and so on. But in terms of launching a console, obviously this isn't the way to do it. It wasn't designed to be that, but I can't help but think that if you're going to chuck this up, it didn't help, by the way, that obviously not being at GDC, he was clearly in a room with basically no one. There seemed to be some sort of superimposed silhouettes, sort of Mystery Science Theatre style.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It just made me thought of Mystery Science Theatre, and I was just like, how are they not taking the piss out of this?
Someone actually posted
so weird
in the live stream. I can't remember what. I think it was on Engadget or something. Someone actually put like, "This is the most boring Mystery Science episode I've ever seen." So yeah, it was really dull, and as I said, absolutely fine to do this from a technical standpoint at a show, at like a conference or whatever. But for Sony to not release anything about the PS5 in advance of this keynote, aka just a 30-second video with it spinning round or something and a couple of specs or just something just to give to gamers, then naturally that everyone's attention is going to be zeroed in on this incredibly boring speech. And now what you've got is a load of people who are essentially are living on the internet because they can't go out, and they're really bored, and now they're even more bored because of your fucking keynote.
Because you are boring as fuck, yeah.
No hype whatsoever. No. So yeah, like some really cool stuff here, especially the storage. The storage.
Jesus Christ.
Holy mother of God, does
That's
this thing
fucking fast read and write speeds or whatever.
What on earth was he said 2 gigabytes a half second or something
stupid like that,
or 2 gigs a second read speed. That the PS4's like standard drive has got a read speed of 1 to 200 megs, and this is 1 to 2,000 megs. What? But anyway, it was really dull. We've now got the stats. We've now got the teraflops.
Well, we get them teraflops out, buddy. Flop it out.
Here we are. This is something that Push Square published earlier, so that I could read it for you. In terms of the CPUs, the PS5 has 8 Zen 2 cores at 3.5 gigahertz variable frequency. The Series X has 8 cores at 3.8 gigahertz, 3.6 with SMT custom Zen 2 CPUs. That
bit more stank.
Essentially, that reason alone is why teraflop-wise, it looks like the Series X is ahead. PS5 10.28 teraflops versus Xbox Series X's 12 teraflops. So, in terms of how that will compare in the real world with the PS5 having a much faster drive, which it does, SSD-wise, it's quicker.
Oh, it's twice as fast. Looking at
it's very, very fast
there, isn't it? It's ridiculous.
So that's gonna bridge that teraflop gap, in my opinion. Meaning that there's basically going to be nothing there in between.
I don't think there's
they're both 16 gig GDDR6 RAM, similar sort of memory bandwidth. In terms of expandable slots, it looks like Sony's kind of got the advantage there, although Microsoft is offering that terabyte slot. It's got me SSD slot on the PlayStation. Both got Blu-ray drives. We don't have performance targets yet for the PlayStation. The Xbox Series X, they're targeting 4K 60 frames up to 120 frames where possible. And this, in terms of what we were hoping from these consoles, they have exceeded my expectations. And I have to say, I don't remember ever saying that before a console launched before. I've never been like, holy shit, that's really powerful, because always they release the stats about these consoles and they're like a mid-range PC, and you're sitting there like, okay.
But
I suppose it'll be optimized over time, but these are these are powerful machines, aren't they?
Well, yeah,
what's your take on it? Obviously, you're kind of more up to date, I would say, from like a PC side of things. In terms
on
of
really cheap PCs, mate. I'm all about that.
But I mean, just in general, like you're certainly more with it from a hardware standpoint. I haven't been dabbling with any of that stuff for a really long time, so a lot of this doesn't mean quite as much to me as it used to. I'm still trying to understand multiple core stuff, whereas back in the day it was like 3.7 gigahertz. That's the faster one than 3.2, and now it's like all bets are off because you just don't know
because
threading and serial busing and so
see the thing that I'm looking at is like the GPU and the fact that Xbox Series X is saying like, it's the teraflops is higher, and the difference between it is like 1.72, and if you think the PlayStation 4 is like 1.4 teraflops, so it's more than a PlayStation 4, more powerful.
Yes.
In that way, shape or form.
Then
I'm thinking that might have a fair bit of stank. I totally get what you're saying about the read and write speed of the PS5 compared to the Xbox Series X. Like, that's ridiculous. But I feel like even just going to the Series X, like solid state from where we are fucking now, it's going to be amazing. I mean, do we really need to double down on the speed of the hard drive when we could actually be getting, better graphics or, better frame rates or something like that? I don't know. It's a tough one until we see them like really running head to head. What I do kind of like though is the memory bandwidth of how the Xbox Series X is. So with the PlayStation 5, it's just one speed. You've got your 448 gigabytes per second, and that's 16 gigs at that. Whereas on the Series X, you've got 10 gigs at 560, and then you've got 6 gigs at 336. Now, what they've said is like those faster 10 gigs are there for the game. And then the slow 6 gigs are for, other crap, like the operating system and things you don't care about. So
UI shit and save state shit and that sort of thing.
Looking at that, obviously, that means that the games can use the faster RAM on
the Xbox.
On the Xbox.
It's got a GPU advantage and a RAM advantage in that respect.
And as I stated with the solid state, it's still going to load fucking stupidly fast. I mean, they've already mentioned about multiple game save states where you can load up a game and be straight in it within a second or whatever, and then close that one and load up another one and you're in that one. Apparently that's a thing that's already up and running.
I'm sure I saw somewhere someone mentioned that you can actually the Series X is capable. Was it? I can't remember if it was 4 or 8. But it could basically run, I think it was maybe 4. It could run 4 Xbox One X sessions all at the same time while still happily handling the UI. So it could basically run 4 Xbox One X games at full whack all at the same time as separate processes that you could flick between instantaneously,
which is meant
still happily run the UI and no problems there.
these consoles are just going to be absolute beasts. It seems to me.
It does
compared
seem that way.
Compared to what we have now, it feels like, yes, this is going to be the generational jump that I've been waiting for, kind of thing.
And that
which
we've
is
possibly
a good thing.
not had since, I can't remember when, maybe the 360.
The 360. When I
probably the
first
last
saw
time
like
where it was a
1080p gaming, I was
huge
just like, "Fuck me, that's incredible."
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like this is that next step that we really are pushing, like 4K 60, or like if that's a standard that, like they were saying, Gears of War 5 runs at 4K 60 on maximum settings with ray tracing. It's like, okay, cool, that's fucking awesome. Shame it's Gears 5 but
absolutely.
Shit,
but this is quite
cool
a pretty
as fuck.
game, though.
It definitely is. Like, having played it on PC, it really is a very good looking game. They spoke about the expansion slots, obviously. To run these games, the latest games, they need to be running on those SSDs. So Series X have got your terabyte expansion cards, whereas with the PlayStation 5, I believe you can just shove an NVMe drive in there.
Yes.
Now they did state that it has to like run at a certain speed, obviously, and there will be a PlayStation certified sticker or label that these people can put on their things that it is ready for PlayStation 5. So they actually said, like, as soon as you get it, don't just go and chuck shit in there because it's not going to work. I was like, well, people are going to just chuck shit in there. I mean,
yes,
that's a bit dangerous. But also, I like the fact that that it is just a drive and not an expansion card, because obviously especially with Sony, I mean, like in the past with their peripherals, what are they called? Like console specific, like the PlayStation portable cards or the Vita cards, like way too stupidly overpriced. Which is a worry that
it's a step back from Microsoft there, isn't it? Proprietary storage. It's not what you want in a modern era at all.
Yeah, now they all have USB, was it 3.2 external hard drive support. So if you want to play your older games, like your Xbox One games and your Xbox or Xbox 360 games, you can totally run them off that and be absolutely fine.
But, and that makes perfect sense. That's exactly what you're going to want to do.
Because you don't want to store all your shitty games.
Well, they're just wasted on the new storage.
On the new storage. I mean, obviously put them on there because it's going to load like fuck. That'd be cool. But there's no need, at the end of the day.
I look forward to firing up Jedi Academy on my Xbox Series X, buddy.
So to be honest, that's the question. I like the fact that. Have you seen the Digital Foundry breakdown of the Series X yet?
Yes, I have, and I really...
And they literally just strip it to bits, and I was like, wow, that's incredible that they're just showing us like the bare bones of this thing. Both companies, though,
are being extremely transparent this time around, aren't they?
Which I think is good.
Yeah,
it's what we need.
It's what devs need as well.
Yeah, totally. We're more informed about what we're going to be buying. I'm quite happy with the dimensions of the Series X. I know it's an odd shape, but I think the cooling system in there is incredible. What they managed to design out of that thing, it's just all just like rammed in.
And interestingly, like both companies have come out and said our cooling could have been better in the past, which is a little bit like this is the new fairy liquid. It's so much better than the old one, kind of thing. But they are right. Like I would love to own a console for 5 years where after 3 years the fan doesn't start spinning up like it's taking off. That would be lovely.
Yeah, exactly. It would be nice. It's nice to be able to see the obviously Xbox Series X. No news really on what the PS5 looks like, or apart from hearsay and those dev kits, so we can't really comment on that. I think them. Oh, go on.
I was just going to say what we were saying a year ago. We wanted from these consoles because we were struggling to think of like innovation. Really, and obviously Sony came out with his like 3D sound scans of people's ears and shit, which whatever. I fucking don't care about that. But what we wanted was 4K 60 gameplay, and both consoles can comfortably do 4K 60 gameplay without even breaking a fucking sweat. Both of them. So
yeah, which is the main thing that I'm really happy about. With moves up to 120, even though I haven't got a monitor that supports that, I'm happy that it can do it. So in the future, when I get like a new 4K monitor, which will probably be in 7 years, I can get one that will do that.
And Microsoft's focus on that screen tearing and minimizing that sort of thing as well, like that's really cool.
They've said that it's not going to take a year to install stuff as well on the PlayStation 5, like the PS4.
Oh god, when he said that, he was like, you might have noticed that when you download stuff, sometimes it takes a while to copy. It's like, no shit. I downloaded like a patch in 25 seconds the other day and then waited 15 minutes for it to copy.
It's ridiculous.
It's unbelievable.
It's the worst. But we're not here to talk about that. Let's focus on the awesome news that these consoles are absolute beasts. We need to... Okay, gun to your head, which one do you go for right now? Because I know which one I want to go for.
Xbox.
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't really have to think that long about it either.
It's the Xbox, so the Xbox looks a better proposition. I think Microsoft has been headed in the right direction.
Yeah, they've been supporting that thing with Phil motherfucking Spencer, and they've done nothing but good things.
Yeah, and I can still play my PlayStation games on my PlayStation 4.
That's true. So, what about, say, there's like the... Do you think when the first... I don't know, well, PlayStation exclusive... does it only come out on the PlayStation 5, or do they do it on PlayStation 4 and 5?
I think it'll come out on PS4 as well.
I think so.
For the first 2 years.
And then by then, PlayStation 5, there'll probably be a cheaper version. We can pick that up then, buddy, if we really want to.
I think that's the big problem I have. Console-wise, I think that the Xbox is probably is shaping up to be more in line with how I play games these days and what I want from a console. But traditionally speaking, looking at the exclusives, frankly, the Xbox has been dog shit in that respect, and
like this generation has been absolute wank.
It's been an absolute fucking cakewalk for Sony this generation in terms of those first party exclusives.
I know Sony's lineup has been very fucking strong, but I just don't think there's been any competition there. Not one game has really been like, holy shit, I need
Forza
to play that.
Horizon 4 I think is a brilliant game, and I would say that shits all over like a lot of
Gran Turismo.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, that's its competitor.
Yeah,
wouldn't you say?
It doesn't shit over Gran Turismo.
Well, no, it's not Horizon.
They're very different games.
It's just Forza 7, isn't it? Is it 7?
Yeah, and I think GT Sport is much better than Forza 7.
Yeah.
Speaking as someone who owns both and has played both on a wheel extensively, Forza 7 just feels sterile and dull, and devoid of ideas.
Yeah, like you said, Horizon was a different kettle of fish.
Horizon's an awesome arcade game, and I really enjoy it. I think it's wonderful. But I have to say, in terms of other exclusives, I've played most of them on Game Pass. Gears does nothing for me. The new Halo does nothing for me. Even stuff that I thought I might be interested in, like Recall, for example. No, not at all. So, but they've been snapping up studios left, right, and centre, and I'm sure things will change in the next generation.
There's going to be a massive push, and fingers crossed, and they'll pull something. I think there's going to be more original stuff on Xbox next gen.
Compared to the last time round. Yeah.
I feel like Sony might just start just milking some teats, like Horizon 2 and whatnot.
And also I think we're of the age now where we don't have to be able to play we can accept that we don't have access to certain games.
Yeah, I mean, like when it was like the 360 and PS3 era, I was never really fussed about a game being exclusive on PS3, and I haven't felt that way, obviously differently about the Xbox One and PS4, mainly because we had all the good ones. But yeah, no, I've never been massively like with Uncharted games. Like I wasn't like, oh shit, I really like when they all came out. I wasn't like, oh no, I'm missing out because I'm not playing Uncharted. Like I ended up playing them at some point and really enjoying them, but when it was that time, I was like, I'm not fussed.
Yeah, but I think Xbox 360 had better first party exclusives than PS3.
They did.
And then it switched for this gen, and I think
but
it's going to switch
you say
back
that
for
like
the next
Last
one.
of Us, man, Uncharted.
Yeah, I mean, Last of Us. Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, Last of Us. I think it arrived a little bit
It was
too early. Really, it should have been a PS4 launch title. They needed something to put on the fucking thing. So yeah,
Need for Speed Rivals, FIFA 06. I don't know what it was actually.
I have to say, I watched someone do a
16,
7 years later retrospective on Assassin's Creed Black Flag the other day.
Nice.
And I remembered how fucking great that game actually was. Like,
mate, we said the other day, like when we were dissing Ubisoft, what was the last best Ubisoft
Black
game?
Flag.
Black Flag 7 years ago, mate.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
It's
cool.
cracker.
Well, either way, we've hopefully given you some information there and some food for thought in terms of your new console.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Well, that was it. Last thing. I loved that one of the statements was the PlayStation 5 will play most of the most popular games on
Most
the
of
PS4.
the most popular. Yeah, exactly.
Don't take it word for word, but like that's what I got out of it. You know?
Yeah. And with that in mind,
what was it? It was most of the top 100 popular games. There you go. So it's not even, you can't even play 100 backpack games on it. I was like, oh, that's a bit of shit.
I'm not asked about that.
No, I'm not. But still, you know, if you wanted to play Jedi Academy on your PlayStation 5, you can't, mate.
Yeah. I mean, with...
And you're really enjoying that. Right,
what I am going to do when I'm inevitably quarantined in my house, which will happen, I'm sure.
Yep.
To the point where I'm going to be disappointed if it doesn't at this point.
I know, me too. I'm going to be fucking pissed. I've got it all lined up. I'm going to sit in my pants all day.
I'm more than capable of working from home, and I'm doing a big project at work at the moment, so I will be working if I'm at home, unless I'm fucking...
Yeah, I know. So will I. Which is
having said
pants.
that,
I've already got things in place to do it.
My intention, buddy, if I do get the dreaded lurgy and I am stuck here for a spell, is to do the 1 month PS Now trial.
Obviously that's a good shout.
That system's changed massively since I last dipped in and took the piss out of it. There's lots of games on there now, including F1 Race Stars, buddy. So
love that shit.
But yeah, there's a horde of games on that service now, and it's high time I gave it a burn. So it seems like as good a time as any, and I look forward to reporting back on my findings at some point in the coming podcasts. But
nice.
Yeah. So yeah,
cool.
Oh, well, lovely. Thanks so much, everyone. Thanks, Ash.
You're more than welcome. And
Excellent.
Thanks, everyone, for listening.
Yeah, we'll be back next time round, probably.
Unless we're ill or
dead. These things can happen, though, can't they? And we've had a good run.
Anything can happen.
If this is the last show, then fair enough.
Almost made it to 250. So close.
Almost made it. Yeah, thanks so much for listening, buddies. Keep chatting away in the Discord. We'll be on there as well. And enjoy your games. We'll catch you next time. Until then, I've been Alex. He's been Ash.
Goodbye.
Farewell. You've been listening to the JfG Podcast with Ash and me, Alex. You can find us at www.thejfgpodcast.co.uk, where you'll also find our Discord and Streetbeat if you want to get involved with the show. Our Facebook is /the JfG Podcast, and our Twitter handle is @the JfG Podcast. We're on all those video streaming sites too, buddies, from TubeTube to twitch.tv /the JfG Podcast to mixer.com, aka beam.fucking-pro. We've got a PS4 community you can join. Just search the JfG Podcast on there. And we're also on Google Plus if that is how you choose to live your life. Thanks so much for listening, buddies. We'll catch you next time.